Hello. How are you? Hi. So I've been watching like a lot of Manicsphere content and I don't want to laugh. Because it seems like they take it so seriously. Like, it's a bunch of guys with their clipboards and they're like, yeah, fucking bitch, fucking, okay, these fucking cunts. Like, there is so much animosity, anger, frustration, coming from men that are in the Manicsphere. And I really want to understand why. You know, the last couple years, excuse me, it's just been like a lot of social issues, at least in America. Everyone's just been complaining about inflation, the high cost of living, and on top of those things, romance. And I don't know about you, but it's kind of hard to be romantic when you're like struggling to pay your bills. So I'm aware that like most guys might not be in a great financial situation, so they're not like really able to put themselves in the position of like being able to be sweet or be helpful, because they're barely able to like sustain themselves. And the whole premise of being a man in America is that you take care of the woman and you have a trophy wife and everyone loves you. Like, every guy wants, no matter their age, they want to like live like a, you know, a 50-year-old man. And I don't really know why that is. They want to have a wife who lives on a golf course and wears an apron and makes them cookies, and they've been together for 30 years. And it's like, they don't really like, I think they're just thinking that like the woman did all the work and the guy was just like, all right, baby, you get to it, I'll be over here with my beer. But that's like that's not what it is. Like, at least in my experience, I've known a lot of married couples. I haven't been married myself. And I think it's so funny that to a guy, someone sharing their observations of couples, because I don't know, I've worked with a lot of people and I've seen people that have been together for like 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And you're like, how on earth could you have even been married that long? But I've been a waiter, so I've had that blessing of being able to meet people that I probably otherwise wouldn't have come across. You know, we're not in the same social circles in any way. But, you know, I've had some really cool customers in the course of my life. And to a single guy, me telling them about these couples and, you know, saying like, hey, it's a team effort. They started off in a trailer, in a 1-bedroom apartment, in a this and a that. And they were a team. They worked together. It wasn't a dictator and a peon. It wasn't like a mother and a child. It's a husband and a wife, 2 partners, 2 best friends coming together and being like, I know you love marshmallows. Oh, hey, I love gummy worms. Let's come up with an awesome dessert. You know, like, God gives you these random pairings. And I think so many guys go into relationships like they just want that retirement stage relationship. They're not willing to have the, you know, if you could put it like this, like an elementary school relationship, you know, where you're just like, oh, he's so sweet. He sends me texts. He sends me notes. He sends me flowers. Like, guys won't open up. They just instantly want you to be like, okay, you're the trophy wife, and like prove to them that you would be a good wife. And meanwhile, they're not like proving to you that they'd be a good husband. They're showing that they're demanding, that they're needy, that they're bossy, that they're obsessed with your appearance. Like, I've never heard guys especially in the Manicsphere, talk about women's appearance. They talk about women's appearance more than women do. Like, I swear to God, it's been years of me like noticing like, why is it that guys are always talking about how women look? And women, when you go talk about them, that's like a small part of it, but most of it like is not. We're talking about our hair, our skin, our favorite lotions or fragrances. It's like the other senses. You know what I'm saying? You have 5 senses. It's not just about how things look. It's about how they feel. It's how they taste. And that, you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. So I get so confused when I'm looking at all of these videos. I'm like, these guys clearly have not ever hung out with women, or they've only hung out with like one kind of girl, and they're like, that's what all girls are like, because there are girls that are super spoiled and have had everything be given to them. And I think that's like what a lot of girls are. They're like the princesses. And then there's tomboys who are a little bit more scrappy. And I think I fit into that category myself, because I wasn't given everything I wanted, and I wasn't treated like a princess. So I don't have those expectations in a relationship, and I'm kind of glad for it. All my friends that were just given everything, it just leads to addiction issues. And yeah, like just thinking about marriage and how like 99 or 95% of marriages fail, right? So I'm coming to you and sharing with you my observations from, and their, you know, feelings from married couples that have been together for a long time. And most of those couples are together because they're a team. If they're like, and it pains me to say this, but I'm going to. My grandma busted her ass. They had a pretty traditional relationship. You know, she stayed home. My grandpa worked for like years. And then at some point, my grandma was like, this fucking sucks sitting at home all the time. Her kids were grown and they needed money, you know, so she would work. And, but my grandpa didn't like try to pick up the slack in that area. And she like just worked herself to death. And that's a lot for me to like think about, because that's like what most men are asking you to do. They want to marry you and then work you as their slave until you die. And they think you should be cool with that. And the whole time they're going to be criticizing your hair, your makeup, the way you dress, your shoes. I mean, at least in every relationship has that to some degree, because you're always going to be talking, oh, like, what are you wearing? Oh, this is what I'm wearing. But in this relationship that I have right now, it's not one that I would want anyone to copy, you know, like it's not, it sucks. I'm trying to make the best of it. But I did everything wrong. Like, if you rush into intimacy with someone, they demand that from you and they feel entitled to that. If you wait, then they have more respect for you. And that's what you need in a relationship. Hello, my beautiful girl. Are you hungry? You know, he like just reaches across the table and grabs my food, reaches across and grabs my drink, doesn't even ask. You know, I don't want that for me. I don't want that for anyone. So, I think that like what makes a marriage work, at least in my observation, through all of my customers, and what I would like to cultivate in my own life, you just have respect, you ask questions, you follow up. If your like partner tells you about something, you bring it back up. That's not just the girl's job. That's not just the woman's job to be the one that like loves in the relationship. Oh, I'll do all the loving and caring and remembering everything, and all you have to do is just go to work and then come home. And like, I don't know, like if your guy's working 2 days a week and is like trying to act like he's the traditional man, you're not working often enough to have that. So it's just, I don't know, guys are just crazy to me. It's one thing, everyone, like, excuse me, needs a little financial help at certain points in their life, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like, being on a team with a girl is a way for you to do that, to build a family, to build a life. But guys are totally unwilling to see women as people. They just want to see them as their future trophy wife. And you need to be super hot and super this and super that right out the gate and like do everything for them to have any interest in you. And I think for most women, they're just like, ew, screw that. If that's like what it comes down to for most guys, that they just want you to be a little robot that's at home all the time and has no autonomy and just does everything this stupid guy says, like, that's no life. So it's just, it's crazy to me. Like, I was just having you know, I commented on this guy said something incredibly, like, just ridiculous. Like, oh, I try to talk to women at gas stations and out in public and they never want my number. And I'm just like, bro, like, are you for real? Yeah, okay. So have you ever made a friend that way? Because nobody that I've ever walked up to in public, hey, you want to be my friend? You want to go out sometime? They're going to be like, what the fuck was that? That was weird. Read the room, weirdo. Like, it's kind of your job to like go to places multiple times and see how you feel about people long before you talk to them. So it's just, I don't know, guys are like, they just like show their hand every time. Women are, it doesn't really matter how a guy looks, but if a guy like looks and dresses nice, that usually means that he feels good about himself. And if a guy doesn't look and dress nice, and he doesn't like, and he keeps everything messy and gross, and you know, he's always up your butt about stuff, that probably means he feels bad about himself and he's wanting you to make him feel better. And I think that's like most guys, especially in the manosphere, I see that they're just wanting a woman to like be their mommy or be their little like slave and live at home and do everything for them, but they are not going to really give anything in return. Like I see guys accusing women of that all the time, but like, I don't, show me the money, like show me the proof of that. But what I see more often than not is guys like just like beating women down, criticizing them constantly, and then being like, why are you so mad? Why are you so grumpy? Like, what? Always whining, always complaining, always bitching. It's never good enough. You're never happy with anything. Like, I mean, at least for me personally, like, I don't even need to get into that, but like, guys are so cruel and like heartless and calculated, and women are, I think, are just kind of like, they've had enough. We know there's nice guys out there, but especially when you just see like there's so many guys in the manosphere, and women are reporting like, hey, like there's no guys coming to singles events, and I just, that doesn't make any sense to me. If there's like a bunch of women at a singles event and I'm the one guy, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go and like take my pick. Like, huh? And but that just like screams volumes to me. I saw a video a couple weeks ago about that, and I was like, sat and thought about it, and I was like, what on earth could that be about? And I haven't thought about it again until right now. And I think that totally makes sense. These guys just haven't hung out with girls. They went to like boys only schools. They really weren't in a whole lot of co-ed environments. So they're fucking terrified to talk to a girl. They're gonna be all like panting and sweating, and girls are gonna be like, ew, what's wrong with him? And they don't want to be rejected because they're acting inappropriately. But they're not gonna ever acclimate them. Like, they're just setting themselves up to be like single dudes that like pay hookers to sleep with them if they keep going on the path that they're going. Like, because basically when I gave this guy advice, I was like, if I've ever tried to make friends just approaching people randomly in public, it doesn't work out. So like, you have to try to like be cool, be normal, don't be such a sussball and like, hey, did I get your number? Like, it's so weird when guys do that out in public, and I just have always been like, who taught you to do that? Just walk up to a woman and ask for her number? I just see you randomly on the street. Oh, okay, no, like, no. Coming from a woman, right, who's had guys hit on me, and guys try to get my number, and some guys have, some guys haven't, and at different times, I'm like, why did I get that guy my number? Sometimes you're like, oh, maybe he'd be your friend. The guy never wants to actually be your friend, but if he won't be your friend, why the fuck would he be your boyfriend? Huh? Because he's gonna have carry that same attitude, like, you're gonna do this for me, you're gonna do that for me, into the relationship. And a guy, when a woman has that same energy coming in, they hate it, they reject it right away. So I'm just over here like, I'm confused. You don't like it when women are demanding of you, but when you are demanding of women and critical and like belittling, it's just somehow okay. I don't know. It just, once it starts with guys, it never stops. With those type of guys, they'll never be happy. There are nice guys out there who will do like nice things and buy the food that you like and remember the things that you like without you having to tell them hundreds of times. You know, because it's just, it comes with maturity. People do weird things for attention. Like, I think men are happy to get a negative reaction because at least they're getting some kind of a reaction, because they don't know how to get a positive reaction. They've never socialized with women. They've never been to like a women's, that's a good way for guys to be able to kind of see how women go to a softball game, go to a soccer game, go to something that is about women. I mean, here's fucking food for thought. You're trying to meet women, and that guys just are so gay. They'll be like, I want to meet girls, and then they'll go to like do stuff that they like that women don't like. I'm just like, are you really thinking here? Women are not like you. Women are different from you. Haven't we been taught that like opposites attract and blah blah blah? Like, because that's true. you're supposed to be with someone that has different interests than you, and you're supposed to like reach across and be interested in each other's things, not just like you have someone that is interested in all the same things that you are. And like an elementary school kid, you know, like I've had relationships like that when I was in elementary school, and then I graduated, you know, up and up and up. But the thing is that like my parents didn't allow me to have a romantic relationship in high school. And then I think I finally ended up having a boyfriend. But that changed who I am as a person. I probably shouldn't have had a boyfriend even then. Because boyfriends they're just, you don't need one. You don't need one. Who cares if other people think you're weird? Because then you go from having no boyfriend and, oh, you're weird. And then, oh, wow, you've had so many boyfriends. It's just like, fuck them. So, yeah, it's just, the thing is with guys is that they'll never stop coming up with, like, reasons to be, like, critical and weird and, like, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. But if you have that same energy, like, oh, where's your house? Where's your car? Where's your job? Oh, okay. So, like, why are you at my butt? I don't know, it's just so shallow to me. I think most guys are really shallow, especially guys in the Manicsphere. They'll play these videos and then just like, they don't pause at all because they don't disagree with anything that's being said. They're just like, yup, 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 that part, yup, yup. And I just, I fully don't understand. Your job as a man is to have your shit together enough that a woman could come into your life and you could be helpful to her. That's it. That's literally it. That's the whole shtick. If you're wanting to like have your life fall apart and have people save you all the time, that's a feminine trait. If you're gonna be whining and crying about, oh, the weather, oh, the wind blew, oh, my neck, my back, that's a feminine trait. What else? I'm supposed to be the one that's whining and complaining. Not men all the time. Oh, women won't talk to me because I approach them in parking lots and attempt to isolate them from their friends and family on a date. Yeah, no wonder. No woman's going to go for that. No woman. None. She's going to fear for her life and run away from you and be like, Mom, this strange man approached me. And I know guys don't want that, but like they won't change their method. They're like, no, I'm going to do this. This worked 50 years ago. That's how my parents met. Like, oh, okay. So yeah, I've determined that most people really just want to have a relationship like their parents had, even if it was fucked up. That doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, I just don't get it. Every day of your life, you're supposed to put in as much effort as you can and jam on. And if you're not doing that, then what are you doing? You know, I don't know. Life is supposed to be about productivity, not watching other people be productive. Like, we're in a very voyeuristic period. And, yeah, the Manicsphere guys are just like, they're just watching other people live their lives and getting advice from other people rather than the experience of doing it themselves. So it's just like, I fully don't get it. Just like, go to the gym, go to the beach. A lot of places, at least when I first started like dating when I was a young lady, when I would go out, I like didn't have like that social IQ. So I would go to places and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to meet a man here. And I'd be like, oh, there's a bunch of couples. Awkward. And that's kind of what I kept hitting on. Every place I was going, there were a lot of couples. And I wasn't going to meet, you know, a single guy there. So I had to kind of readjust and, you know, go to different concerts, different locations, different venues, different music types, different grocery stores. You know, it took a little bit of trial and error. And just being willing to be single. Like, there were tons of people that popped up when I was dating. I was like, oh, they're kind of nice and cool. But, like, I don't want someone that's just, like, kind of nice and kind of cool. I want someone that's, like, amazing and great and that I can connect with. And so you kind of wait for that. And I think for most guys, they don't care. They'll take anything. They'll take a kind of great or kind of okay and like, wait for something else. And it just doesn't work like that. Like, you develop an emotional connection with someone anyway, and it's just not fair. If you don't really have strong feelings for someone, like, you shouldn't date them, you know, because there's someone out there for everyone. And it's okay to date too if you're like in a period where you just want to date and you're whatever. But that does happen. You do just get attached to people, and then other people get attached to you, you know. Maybe you don't feel a connection, and then they're like, oh, but wait, I really like you. And you're like, oh, shit. Don't reciprocate. Like, I love you as a person, but not like in a romantic way. And that's hard. That sucks. I don't want anyone to have to do that. Because it doesn't, people always say, oh, it feels good to break hearts. I'm just like, no, it feels terrible. It's terrible. So, yeah, that's my thoughts for the day. I thought that was so funny. I'm still thinking about my SB 1070 video. Just need more coffee, and I need to do a lot more around the house before I sit and ramble on about politics. So social issues seem more important, and guys dating, like, they just, I don't know who gave them these ideas. I'm not sure if they're just like getting their information from Reddit, but it is not good, the stuff that they're thinking and saying. And then a woman offering advice, well, why would you offer me advice? It's just like, dude, what is wrong with you? Like, are you gay? Like, do you only want to get advice from men? And like, I just don't understand, because you should be getting advice from women. I've gotten advice from men, from women, all throughout my life, and all different kinds of men and women. So it's just like, I've never just discounted anything that someone has said purely based off of an external factor. Like, if you close your eyes and you couldn't see how they looked, how would you feel about them? Didn't your parents teach you that? It's not always about looks. In fact, it's very rarely about looks. It's about how people make you feel, how they sound, how they smell, often. So, yeah, I think guys could, like, improve their hygiene. They could try to, like, socialize and talk to women instead of being these freaky little, like, sex dictators that they're wanting to, like, capture you at home. And I don't know. Like, the whole Manicsphere thing is, like, trippy to me, because I see women are just wanting freedom, and then guys are just like, no, you need to be home with me while I go out and do all the fun stuff. And it's just like, bro, can't we all just, like, do our own thing and be happy and not so weird? Because if women did that to a guy, they'd be like, oh, she's got you whipped. And it's like, when a guy does it to a girl, it's just like, what? Fuck that shit. Like, there's very low incentive to have a relationship. I think for most women, it would be best to, you know, have someone help you, your sister, an auntie, your mom, a cousin, you know, anyone that you can pay in your immediate family to help raise your kids when they're really little. And just, like, you know, go to a sperm bank or something like that. Because, like, guys say they want women without kids, but they don't. They, like, view you as a spinster, no matter what. They're like, oh, you don't have any kids? Oh. And then when you do have kids, like, oh, you have kids? Oh. It's just like, guys will never be happy. I've learned that long ago. They have these crazy high standards, and then they say women have really high standards, and it's just like, what, man? Like, and then they want to live in a 1-bedroom apartment, and they're wondering why women won't go for them. I'm like, how hard is it for you to buy a 2-bedroom house that you can pay off and flip later on when you have kids and you need to move into a bigger space? Living in an apartment to a woman who screams, I don't give a shit about my future. I'm just living here, being cheap. And, like, I've seen so many videos of guys being like, this is the best way to go. I live in an apartment and I rent, and look at my investment portfolio. And it's just like, oh, okay. Like, and I'm not discounting that. That's cool. But, like, how are you encouraging other men to not have a home, to have a family? Because that is on the guy. And if I put myself in my shoes and I'm dating a guy that lives in an apartment, I'm not taking him seriously. I'm just not. It doesn't matter how great he is, because he's not prepared. He's going to wait for me to do something, for him to do something. I don't need a relationship like that. He needs to be doing it all on his own. And that's just facts. People call that hypergamy or whatever. Like, no, that's just, if I didn't have my shit together, no guys would be into me. And like, I barely do have my shit together. So effectively, no guys are into me. Even my boyfriend is like, oh, I don't want to help you. But I've had a dynamic where I'm just always helping him. I'm always there for him. Him. So if I try to switch the dynamic back now, he's like, what the fuck? It's all about me. Who are you? You're on in my fan club. What? You're just supposed to be all about me. And I don't want any woman in the world having a relationship like that, because that's what it ends up being. You know, relationships just kind of fall into a default setting, and one person's like, oh, hey babe, I need this, hey baby, I need that, and it's usually the guy whining in my life, oh, I need this, I need that, and the girl's just running herself ragged, making food for everybody, doing everything for everyone until you die. No, he can do half of that work. It's like not that much work. So I'm just confused. I'm like, men seem capable. They seem like they can do things. I see men out in the world doing incredible things. And then something as simple as throwing away the trash when you open up a snack, you just, leave it and walk away. Won't ever change it. There's no, like, improving on anything. It's just the same behaviors all day, every day. This guy got spanked once in his whole life. One time he got spanked. And the whole rest of the time, he's just an obnoxious little shit. One time he got spanked, and he was, like, in high school. So that's what I'm dealing with. I have to remind myself every day. I'm like, why is this guy so obnoxious? Because he got spanked once when he was 15, and then he tried to fight his dad. There was no point where his parents were like, no, that's bad. Spank, spank, spank. I mean, yeah, so people have to know boundaries. People have to know when they're doing something wrong. And if you don't get that feedback, you assume that what you're doing is good and cute and nice. Just like this guy. He thinks he's like so funny and cute. He's always laughing. I know he's the only one laughing. Making jokes at other people's expense. Just terrible. Really, really mean. Really, really mean. And it's always somehow my fault. Like, he's just, we never have good days. The other day I was trying to sit and think, I was like, when was the last time we had a good day together? And he couldn't remember. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know either. Because he just chooses to get angry about everything. And he's addicted to it. I think a lot of people are anger addicts, especially guys. And then they get in a relationship and they start raging at the woman. And it's like, not every feeling you have came from someone else. It's just crazy. Like, guys are like, oh, I fell in love. I can't do anything about it. Oh, I got mad. I can't do anything about it. Like, what? What are you talking about? Life is all about choices. What do you mean? You choose to do all kinds of things. Yeah, you know how many dogs I've seen? And I've been like, oh, wow, oh, I want that dog. Did I go fucking steal the dog? No. You know why? Because that's wrong. And think about it. You go steal someone's pet. That pet doesn't like you. It's not bonded to you. They're going to miss their owner. What the hell's wrong with you? Why would you? You know what I mean? So it's like the same kind of thing. I don't know. Anyway. See you later. Bye.